Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains. We are on site in Grass Valley, California, and in the wider world via Zoom, and later, YouTube. So hi there. I am Beth Karow. It's so nice to see all your faces. And I'm joined today by Cheryl Morris and a great team of folks to bring you this special flower celebration Sunday service on the first day of May, Mayday, International Workers' Day, Beltane, and I just learned about this, International Bereaved Mothers' Day, honoring mothers who have lost a child and recognizing those who cannot be a mother due to infertility or other reasons. So for UUCM, it marks the start of a new theme. All this month, we'll be exploring the theme, Nurturing Beauty. First, though, we acknowledge the people whose ancestral and present-day lands we gather upon.
In our commitment to be in right relations with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of black oak acorns on our altar each week. In doing so, we acknowledge the Nisan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible for generations of exclusion and erased from California history. We understand that we are on Nisenan land that has never been seceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people. As residents or visitors in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in its efforts to stabilize their people, as well as the campaign to restore tribal sovereignty through federal recognition.
Thanks, Wally. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Reverend Kevin is not here today. Eek. We're going to need to get used to it, folks, so today is a good practice run. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Our music director, Jordan, has the dreaded coronavirus and is at home recovering. Actually, as he is moving on, I guess we're going to need to get used to him not being here either. Mayday, mayday, mayday! Bob Miller, our AV hero, is not here today. We've got a great support team, Siobhan and Gary, though, so never fear. And I can attest to their skills. We had a huge glitch this morning, and they solved it. Notice anything new? Mayday, mayday, mayday! My calls for a Zoom chat host for today were finally received last minute by Gracie Kendrick. Thank you so much, Gracie. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Oh, there's such a lot of situations where those words really seem to fit well in front of, whether personally, within our community here, and most especially the world at large. Mayday, indeed. Okay, I know today, May 1st, is known as Mayday, but why in the world do we use that duress signal, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday? It's an expression of distress. Does anyone know why? We have two people. All right, Ken. Well, it got its start in the 1920s among air traffic controllers who needed an easily recognized international distress signal. SOS works really well with Morse code, but S as in Sam and F as in Frank sound too similar when spoken, so they needed to find something else. And they landed on Mayday, which sounds a lot like the way you say help me in French. Mayday, help me. Mayday. Mayday, help me. Help me. Coincidentally, right around the same time as Mayday was being adapted as an international distress signal, Norbert Čapek, the founder of the Unitarian Church in Czechoslovakia, initiated the flower celebration as a way to unite the diverse congregants of his church from different religious backgrounds without alienating those who left those traditions. He chose to honor the universal beauty of nature by having a celebration of flowers. These ceremonies vary greatly from church to church and year to year. How very you. After the chalice lighting and after we sing, you will be invited to come up and place your flower in any vase you like. If you need a flower, Gwen, Penny, or Laura, our greeters, will bring you one. And if coming forward is difficult for you and you'd prefer to have your flower placed for you, just raise your hand. And our Zoom attendees will have flowers placed in their stead as well. So row by row, we'll start in the front. Walk up through the center aisle, through this passageway, which is symbol, I'll explain a little bit later, of the two Beltane bonfires. And you can imagine as you do the purifications and blessings of health and happiness that the bonfires were thought to bring to those people and livestock that walked between them. And then after you place your flower in the front, please return to your seat by going down the side aisles. So up through the middle and down through the side. May we feel ourselves welcomed here and now. Whoever we are, wherever we came from, whatever our abilities, our challenges, both seen and unseen. All of us with our identities inherited from our ancestors and or newly created by ourselves. Seekers, finders, dreamers, mourners, all are welcome here. It is good to be together.
Suzelle Lynch. I know. Okay, whatever the title is, Suzelle Lynch. Our community is filled with beauty. When you open the door to greet me, that's where the beauty begins. When you share with me what's important to you, beauty is there as I listen. When we join hands to practice compassion, beauty's heart blooms like a flower. When we teach or learn or work for justice, beauty abounding sparks joy in all. Let the light of the chalice, let's light the chalice for beauty now. The beauty we seek, the beauty, Let's light the chalice for beauty now. The beauty we seek, the beauty we share, the beauty we nurture together. Those at home can light your chalice now.
And if you'd like to stand to sing, you're more than welcome to, or you can sing on your chair, in your chairs.
There is more. Good morning. Oh, it's so nice to be here and see all of your faces. I'm just delighted. So. The Flower Communion by Lynn Unger. What a gathering. The purple tongues of iris licking out at spikes of lupin, the orange crepe skirts of poppies lifting over the buttercup and daisies. Who can be grim in the face of such abundance? There is nothing to compare, no need for beauty to compete. The voluptuous rhododendron and the plain grass are equally filled with themselves, equally declare the miracles of color and of form. This is what community looks like, this vibrant jostle, stem by stem, declaring the marvelous joining. This is the face of communion, the incarnation once more gracefully resurrected from winter. Hold these things together in your sight, purple, crimson, magenta, blue. You will be feasting on this long after these flowers are gone.
When you find the perfect words. Happy May Day. Like our Labor Day in September, May Day is also known as International Workers' Day, and it's an internationally celebrated holiday to commemorate the historic struggles and gains made by workers and the labor movement. Today is also Beltane, one of the 4 holidays called cross-quarter days, centered between the solstices and the equinoxes, celebrated for ages by those, most especially of Celtic origins, who mark time by the passage of the seasons of the sun, as well as the ticking of the clock and the pages of the calendar. Beltane, like I said, is the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It's one of 2 fire festivals, the other being Samhain, better known as Halloween, on the opposite side of the wheel of the year. And like most of the celebrations from the ancients, it has its roots in agriculture, and even before that, animal husbandry. Specifically, fertility. This celebration of Beltane is really all about fertility, and it can get pretty bawdy. Can I get a quick show of hands to see who besides me washed their face in the morning dew from a flower this morning? No? No one? That's an ancient ritual. It's still practiced today. According to European folklore, May dew has magical properties that bring a year's worth of health, happiness, and beauty to those who wash their face in it. I need all the help I can get. Or their hands, actually. It's said to help bring dexterity in opening locks and knots, untangling ropes and threads. Or, for the very brave, their whole naked bodies. Rolling in the dew without clothes definitely brings on fertility, but it's hard to say if it's the dew or the writhing nakedness. Anyone else barefoot? There's a modern day ritual called earthing, which is a holdover from more ancient times, believing that especially in this sacred time of Beltane, one can draw up the blessings of power from the earth through their feet. And actually, science has sort of caught up with that one. We know that there's benefits. And as this is one of those liminal times where the veils between the worlds were thought to be thinner than usual, some people believed that the realm of the fairies was very approachable, for good or for evil, really, because, fairies. It's best to leave some offerings out, just in case. I hear they're particularly fond of chocolate. So, chocolate. for the fairies. And of course, there's the maypole, a very prominent and fun ritual that has stood throughout time as the very essence of Mayday. Now, I know some of you have joined a maypole dance. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, you may have seen one. There's a great picture of one right there, or there, on the monitor. It involves a long pole being erected into the earth. Long, colorful ribbons hang down from the top of the shaft, and they are held by the dancers who weave in and out, up and down, round and round, forming a lovely woven or braided womb-like sheath for the pole. Symbolic much? Maypole dancers would take refreshment from May wine, infused with herbs known for their fertility-enhancing and aphrodisiacal properties. Then couples would pass between two bonfires made of 9 different types of wood, each with their own magical properties, on their way to the fields, where they would, well, do some more fertility ritual stuff. If they hit it off, a short courtship for the rest of the merry, merry month of May ensured lots of June weddings. By the way, the fires, symbolic of the sun's energy, of course, were also there for the livestock to be driven between on their way to their summer pastures or mountain grazing lands. The blazing fires were thought to purify, to ensure protection from disease, as well as to, yes, increase fertility. It's important. Survival. Families would douse their hearth fires on Beltane Eve, then relight them with an ember taken from the communal Beltane fire. I love that imagery of the shared fire, out of one, many. Actually, I love the imagery of these earthy festivals, and I really appreciate the continuation and or the revival of the rituals associated with them. The earliest European settlers in what has become known as North America were mostly Puritan, and although they came here seeking religious freedom, they strictly forbade such revelry. So the May Day celebrations in America look quite different from those in Europe, but flowers feature prominently on both continents. I'm so glad I'm a member of the Unitarian Universalists, whose liberal views are open to and accepting of many religious traditions and beliefs, including Beltane. Happy May Day.
Well, that's a hard act to follow. We're surrounded today by the beauty of flowers and the smiling faces of our congregation, and it can be easy to close our eyes to another side of life in our community. Sadly, there are many vulnerable children and families who are practically invisible until something tragic happens. Our Share the Plate partner for this month is Child Advocates of Nevada County. This is an organization near and dear to my heart, as I have served as a court-appointed special advocate for many years and have been able to share in the special, hard-won beauty of seeing children survive and thrive when they receive the care and support they need. 20% of our offering this month, or more, 25%, or more if you so designate, will support the work of Child Advocates. It's my privilege to introduce their executive director, Marina Bernheimer. Marina has led the agency since 2017 and has dedicated her career to supporting children and families through various local nonprofits. She also serves on the board of another organization well known to this congregation, Color Me Human. Marina.
Good morning. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm really happy to be here this morning and really grateful for Child Advocates to be the recipient of your generosity. Cheryl, as she said, has been a generous CASA volunteer for years for our organization, so thank you, Cheryl. And as she said, I've had the privilege of working with Rev Kev, as he's known at Color Me Human, for the last year on our board of directors, and what a wonderful person you have leading you here. I just wanted to take 1 minute to share with you the work we're doing at Child Advocates so you're aware of what your money is going to, your donations. And Child Advocates has been around for 25 years, more than 25 years in our community. And probably our most well-known program is CASA, which stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, which is the role that Cheryl was speaking of that she has served. And every child in our county who's removed by a judge from their home for severe abuse or neglect is paired by Child Advocates with a well-trained advocate, a volunteer from this community who becomes their mentor and their advocate and stays with them from the time they're removed from their home until the time they achieve permanency, either with their own families or with a new home. And this is obviously a very challenging and traumatic chapter of these kids' lives, and CASA advocates may be the one consistent, caring, nurturing adult in their lives during this time. They may work with schools and social workers and foster parents. They report to the judge to make sure that the kids have all of their needs met during this time and that they're in caring homes and that all of the things that they need are being handed to them. So CASAs play a critical and important role for some of the most vulnerable kids in our community, and that's what your donation will go towards supporting. We're able to enroll them in sports and things that they never had opportunities to do before to promote self-esteem and belonging, and it's a really critical, important part of the child prevention, abuse prevention landscape in our community. We also have a prevention program, so CASA serves those kids who have already been identified as having been abused or neglected. And then we have a Healthy Babies program where well-trained advocates go into the homes of struggling families to make sure that they have all the resources and knowledge and tools that they need to raise kids in healthy, loving homes. So they provide resources, whether it's clothes or anger management or you name it. They're experts on the resources in the community, and they offer a really wide range of support. Our final program provides child abuse prevention information to young kids in schools through puppet programs that are performed by high school students that teach young kids about safe touches and what to do if you're experiencing abuse and how to find a safe adult to report to. That's just a very brief overview of the 3 programs we have and the things that your generous donations will go towards supporting. So thank you for your generosity. I'm really honored to be here, and thank you for your support of the work that we do.
Your generosity remains essential to our ability to sustain the work of our community. There are several ways to contribute. You may text an amount to 833-579-0483, give via our website at uugrassvalley.org, via PayPal at paypal.me/UUCM, or mail to UUCM 246 South Church Street, Grass Valley, California, 95945. Thank you.
Thank you for your generous gifts. We dedicate these gifts to helping all children find safety, love, and beauty in their world.
Amy Zucker Morgenstern writes, "Within the heart of the flower, the fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, a fire that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, a spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy." Friends, what is in your heart this morning? Perhaps right on the surface, poised to spill out, or maybe deep within, buried. In the midst of the tragedies of a global pandemic, deep political and social division, and chaos of war, there are also great causes for joy. Families reunited, babies born, graduations, weddings, and birthdays and anniversaries to celebrate, and of course, much, much more. Let's pause now to acknowledge what is within our hearts today. I will read some of what is shared by those on Zoom who are welcome to type into the chat. Those in the room are welcome to come up and place a stone, a symbol of what is weighing on our hearts, into the bowl of water, the bowl, symbol of the container of community that we form together, and the water, the cleansing, refreshing, dissolving elixir of life. As the ripples expand outward, may we feel our burdens lightened and our happiness be enhanced by our communal ritual of caring. Cheryl lit the candles on the altar today to recognize the unspeakably brutal acts of war by Russian troops against the people of Ukraine. Candles, too, for all those affected by the tremendous impact of the ongoing global pandemic. And Mayday, 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 the Zoom chat did not come across for me. So I have, no, wait a second. I just got one. Dahlia, trusting in the process and being is always in my heart. A longing for what is not present requires strength that is sometimes hard to find. Well, isn't that appropriate? Because that's the only one. So what is not present are the rest of what might have been shared on Zoom today for some reason, and I don't know what. But as always, we know that there is so much more within our hearts, not yet ready to surface. May we be tenderly mindful of each other, knowing that we can never fully know what each of us may be holding. Again, the words of Amy Zucker Morgenstern. Within the heart of the flower, the fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, a fire that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, a spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, O my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, O my soul. 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 Comfort me, comfort me, O my soul.
Many UU congregations during their flower ceremonies include a blessing over the flowers to consecrate them before they are chosen. This particular prayer of sorts was written by Norbert Čapek himself, the first Unitarian minister in Czechoslovakia, for the first flower celebration that he designed. Keep in mind that it was written nearly 100 years ago, and as with any blessing invoking a higher power, some of the words might not land right with some people. But it's still good. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in this world. Amen. I invite you again to come forth, this time to choose a flower. So come up row by row through the symbolic bonfires, take any flower you want, and we have vials there in that punch bowl to put the stems in so they stay fresh and you don't get water everywhere. When you return to your seat, please go down the side aisles. And if you'd like assistance, again, just raise your hand and a helper will come to you. And so gratefully, Tom will play for us again. So let's take a moment now to really look at our flowers and in turn ourselves. How are they holding up? How are we holding up? Ready to fall apart at the slightest provocation? Not going to last much longer? Needing some nurturing? Or maybe fresh and hold up just fine? Take a look at the center, the focal point from which everything radiates. Can you see into its depths? Is that center closed up tight, or is it open wide? Is there more to see the deeper you look? We can ask ourselves, how is it with my center? Am I holding on to more than I'm showing? And how about those petals? Bright and showy, or muted and soft? Are they maybe a little droopy from the journey to here and now? Am I? Are we? Will a little water and rest be enough to rejuvenate? Or is it all downhill from here? All downhill from here? So we better do what we can while we can with what we have? Finally, let's contemplate the roots. I know that these flowers don't have them attached, so we'll just have to imagine them hugging the earth, snug underground, held, blooming where they have been planted. Strong, wise roots. We can contemplate our own sense of rootedness, or is it uprootedness that we're feeling? grounded or groundless? And what are our own sources of strength and nourishment? One of my favorite, all-time favorite movies is Harold and Maude. Yes, I knew you'd know it. Maybe someday we can have a movie night right here and show it. We actually have the permission to do that, so we should do it. Yeah, and even though I've seen it more times than I can count, I'm always delighted by the lovely Maude, played so well by Ruth Gordon. One of the best lines of the movie, in my opinion, comes when she, an almost 80-year-old Holocaust survivor, and Harold, a morose, soon-to-be 20-year-old, are sitting in a field of daisies. After Maude says that she'd like to change into a sunflower because they are so tall and simple, she asks Harold what kind of flower he'd like to be. He shrugs. Obviously, he's never even thought of that question. He looks at the daisies around them and says, I don't know, one of these, maybe. And she presses him further. Why do you say that? And he says, because they're all alike. And Maude gets really animated, and she says, and this is my best Ruth Gordon, oh, but they're not. Look, see? Some are smaller, some are fatter, some grow to the left, some to the right. Some have even lost their petals. All kinds of observable differences. You see, Harold, I feel that much of this world's sorrow comes from people who are this, yet allow themselves to be treated as that. And she gestures widely to encompass the whole field of daisies, which, as the camera pans wider, turns into a military graveyard. Maude says, each person is different, never existed before and never to exist again, just like this daisy. So now, with your unique to this world flower, in your unique to this world hand, really see its beauty. See yours as well. Now, hope you haven't gotten too attached. Share it. Turn to a neighbor and make a wordless exchange. See the beauty in their flower. See the beauty in them. See it everywhere, in everyone. Blessed be.
Friends come sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, I know we will go on.
You may be seated. Cheryl, thank you for being my partner for this service and for this month. And Gracie, thank you so much for answering that Mayday call and jumping on as Zoom host. Siobhan, you so totally rock. I couldn't ask for a better AV genius. Thank you, and Gary as well. Thank you so much, Gary, on sound. Some unexpected due to COVID video editing was done by our beloved Kevin Tarsa just before he drove off for a short adventure. And for a million other ways, he helped shape this and all of our services here. So much gratitude to Kevin. Linda Siska is upstairs with the kiddos today, but she came in on Friday to help Cheryl and I set up, and early this morning too. Beautiful setting. And thank you, Linda. Thank you to Jordan for his quick pivot to video and for staying home and getting better. We wish you well. Tom Wernig, who I called, thank you so much. I called just as he was sitting down to dinner last night when I realized, we need some music. Thank you so much for answering my call with your beautiful music. Thanks. Gwen and Wally and Beth, thank you for reading today. And Gwen and Penny and Laura, thank you for your greeting skills. More production help from George and Corey. Thank you for all you do for our worship team. Beth Rose and team are hosting refreshments in the back. Thanks for the many hands that make light work of our time together. We can always use more help. What the heck. One more time, before our closing words, let's share some more beauty with each other. Find someone else's eyes. And again, without words, make one further exchange. It's easier to let go, when you do it a lot. Your flowers for theirs. Your smiles for theirs. Nurturing beauty. Nurturing beauty. Hang on, we're not done yet. What part of word list is right here? It's right there. What?
Okay.
Just two-handed.
Yeah. The closing words are from the Reverend Karen G. Johnston. Where there is beauty. What to do with beauty, or joy for that matter, in the midst of tragedy, of violence, of cruelty? What do we do with the living? Give each their due. Do not lose ourselves in any of it, but find ourselves anew. Where there is beauty, amplify it. Where beauty is hidden, reveal it. Where beauty is ruined, restore it. Where beauty is absent, create it. This will be our gift to our aching world.
And though we extinguish our chalice, now we know that we will together carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.